Religion vlog. Now, this is a touchy subject. I was taken to church as a young boy by my mother. She's a very spiritual, religious person, and she had a lot of trouble still. I always had a sense that there was a grain of salt there with the the mythical teachings, the miracle teachings of the Bible. I never quite bought it. Um, Even as a young boy, I was a really smart kid. I was a child actor, so it was something that I never. Even though there are good teachings in the Bible, it's and great teachings in the Bible, it's something that I never quite believed as far as miracles go. Um, so I went as much as I could stand for my mother, and then eventually I begged her that I didn't want to go to church anymore. Especially once I started school, and I went to school. I was a good boy, and I went to school, and I didn't want to go to church anymore because I got a sense that things that they were saying weren't exactly true. I was just a very logical person, and I just didn't believe when they talked about the miracles of Jesus Christ. And my mother, she also had, when I was a young boy, she had trouble at church. She's a very, very beautiful woman with red hair, and some of the women at her church scarlet lettered her. Um, there was several instances, or at least one instance I can remember very vividly, where um, I remember it almost dramatically because it was raining, and she brought me home in the van because we had a van at that point, and I was really, really young at this point. I was like 4 to 6, maybe 7 at the most, and I was in the back seat, and she was just sobbing in the front seat for almost an hour, 20 minutes to an hour after church, and I had no idea why as a young boy, and so that's a really vivid memory still for me. Um, and later, I found out that the reason is my mother's a beautiful woman. She's a faithful woman, spiritual woman. She sang in the choir. She has a beautiful singing voice. And there was an older man in the choir that hit on her at church and tried to accost her at church and prompted her for sex and cheat on my father at church. Um, and when she told the church about it, when she told some of the other women about it, some were understanding, but some blamed her for being provocative. And she's a beautiful woman, but she, to me, is like, even as a young boy, isn't exactly the most provocative woman. Like, nothing past, honestly, what some of the women are today. So my father also never went to church with her. He's not a religious man. I don't know what he is, especially in his old age. He's either like me, where he was atheistic and might be agnostic. I'm agnostic for the most part now. I like to say I don't know, and just to have faith in the fact that I don't know about the higher power, and just let the higher power take care of the business. But that was like an experience that I had as a young person with my mother, and it always stuck with me, so I never really loved going to church after that. Um, so that's my main experience with religion. I'm agnostic now, and when it comes to the Bible, my favorite verse actually has to do with women. I actually find that the spirituality of the world has more to do with romance and the spirit that you spend your time with romantically and create a child with, more than anything else. The Proverbs in the Bible states that a woman of noble character is more valued than rubies itself, and so that says to me that a woman is, that's God saying directly with the Bible. That's not a miracle type thing, and that's God saying with the Bible that a woman is the most valuable thing in the world to a man, or to anyone really. So that passage also has to do with slavery, because way back in biblical times, as a historian, I know that they had slavery, and sometimes women, especially women that weren't of good character and were poor, they would sell some of their children into slavery. So as a man, you wanted a wife of noble character so that she didn't sell your children into slavery. and so that you had a family and a continued line and could prosper. So that's also what that proverb is about in the Bible, and it's my favorite one, and it's the one that speaks to my heart the most. And it's another reason why when people ask me why are women so important, why is romance so important to me, why am I not a player, why do I not want to cheat, it's because of that. It's because if you lose the woman of good character, it's devastating. It's hard to fix, it's hard to come across again. Some men honestly are too lucky, and that woman sticks by them no matter what they do. And I don't think that it's a great way to be. Personally, I think that they should be more grateful to those women, especially if they consider themselves a religious man. So that's my viewpoint on religion. Peace out.